Welcome back, Jocelyn, Camila, Javier. I'm inviting the rest of the participants, even though the ones that were not here, I'm invited them as well. So that no one can say that they were not invited for sessions here in the literature class, right? So I remember one very interesting website. I think Javier was the one that shared this website, but I think it was maybe Catherine, the one that gave him the website. I think it's litcharts.com, right? Was it you, Javier? Was it someone else? Who should we give the credit to?
Indeed, was as you said, Mister. Catherine shared with me the link of that page for one of our homeworks. Let me look for it.
And you shared with the rest of us, right?
Yes, I
Exactly.
think I wrote it, or copy and paste it here in this same chat. I'm gonna look at lead
Yes, I
charts.
do remember that. So I think I'm sharing the text of The World is Too Much With Us on the left, and on the right, it says The World is Too Much With Us summary. So the idea is that maybe it might make more sense to us if we read it aloud. Jocelyn, would you mind reading this text on the right and see if you can read some section, and then maybe Camila Gesat can take another section, and then Carla, Javier, we can take turns, right?
Okay,
Thank you so much. Whenever you want.
okay. The material world, that of the city, our jobs, or innumerable financial obligations, controls our lives to an unhealthy degree. We are always rushing from one thing to the next. We earn money one day just to spend it the next. The result of this is that we have destroyed a vital part of our humanity. We have lost the ability to connect with and find tranquility in nature. In exchange for material gain, we have given away our emotions and liveliness. This ocean that reflects the moonlight on its surface and the peaceful, momentarily windless night, which is like flowers whose petals are folded up in the cold. These are natural features still exist, but we just can't appreciate them. Our lives have nothing to do with the rhythms of the natural world. As a result, those rhythms have no emotional impact on us. My God, I wish that I were raised in a culture that worshipped many gods, though that religion is now outdated. That way, standing on this pleasant I might be calmed and heartened by the image of the ocean before me. I might see the Greek god Proteus taking shape before my very eyes, or hear another Greek god, Triton,
Triton.
blow his legendary
Sorry.
spiral-toothed conch shell.
Exactly. Thanks so much for sharing. So one of some of the main ideas that are brought up in your minds or pop up in your minds whenever you are reading in prose what was before expressed in a poem. Any relevant ideas that may come to your mind when you see or hear or read this section on the right? No ideas? There are many elements that I would like to discuss with you. For example, what do you think about the section that says in the second line, we're always rushing from one thing to the next. We earn more money one day just to spend it the next. Right, which is the line, late, soon, getting and spending. It sort of feels like our contemporary society in which we are sort of earning and then spending next day whatever we have earned. So there's no possibility of escaping this cycle of instead of being a slave to a system, right? You are a slave to a system, and this is what is criticized by romantics. In the next line of the poem, we lay waste our powers, little we see in nature that is ours. So they're losing the connection with nature. They're not being able to connect or reconnect with nature is what is being claimed here by the romantic particularly this specific romantic poet, right? He's even defying the power of religion, right? Because at some point he says, "Great God, I'd rather be a pagan suckled in a creed outworn." Right? The idea of a pagan suckled in a creed outworn is like being taught a type of religious belief that is outdated, that is not really what I should believe, but I'd rather have a different, believe in different gods or more gods, because if nothing seems to change, if society seems to go in one direction, and I don't want to go into that direction in which I don't feel part of, right? As in the line 9 in the poem, it says, "It moves us not," right? This sort of rhythm imposed by this industrialized and technified society is not moving my soul. It's not moving me or my emotions. So I feel no connection with what's going on in society and all the changes. Javier, please.
Sorry, Mr. From which part?
No, I mean, in connection to the comments that you are making. Um, Triton.
Yeah, no, sorry. I want. I just apologize for that little outburst. Sorry.
No, not at all. I mean, because all the connections that we can make, particularly, for example, connections with a name, a band, a song, even a TV commercial, right? They all add, right, to this collective um, knowledge that we can create. So, Triton is a very powerful Greek mythology. So probably that's why a band wanted that particular name for them.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like the this idea of mentioning gods and the godly concept among the poems. We were able to see in the one that we checked a couple of classes ago about this topic of sexuality and interaction with God, how it how it how it was presented, and now this in line 9 and 10, how the poet said that he will rather be a pagan god, and how the translation of, well, the sort of more normalized language translation said that the author would like to worship many gods. So it will have more. I feel like the author said that because he wanted to have different points of view on how to see and how to interact with life, rather than just um, this idea of God being just one and one thing is the only way, and this world and society full of dogmatic rules and ideas. I like that thing, this concept that is placed within the poems and this poem.
Right. That's why one of the questions I always ask whenever I have the opportunity to participate in this class as a teacher, but as someone who is experiencing with literature as well, is that if you feel that you are a romantic, because a romantic in terms of the concept of a romantic in these times, right, that we're discussing, is someone who is defiant, someone who doesn't like the way that society is being structured or established, and someone who feels that he or she wants to change the status quo. A romantic person is someone who really feels that nature is one unique force that is very empowering. So whenever you go to the countryside, or you go to a beach, or you climb a mountain, you feel empowered, you feel the energy, and the energy, the type of energy that you don't get when you go to a city. Someone who is a romantic, right, is also believes in the innocence of children, believes in the innocence of the people who live in rural areas. Um, Someone who is a romantic person would fight for equality, fight for freedom, or would believe that equality and justice, right, is the essential values or elements that should be part of every society. So that's something that I want you to remember, because if I ask you a question like that, do you think you are romantic? If you're not, why not? If you are, why do you think you are? Okay. Um, Let me show you these engravings, William Blake's engraving. And the idea of showing you this has to do with William Blake, which is another romantic poet. I read that he had very little education, so he was a very talented person who became an apprentice of an engraver. If you remember, many of these jobs, people who learned how to engrave, people who learned how to do a job were before apprentices, right? And then you work in a workshop for years, and then you learn the craft, right? So William Blake learned this craft of engraving, which is quite interesting. So he wrote these poems, right, like the Sons of Innocence, right? And at some point, he became very depressed because he didn't get all the recognition that he expected, all this success that he really wanted. And that's something that it's important to notice, that sometimes when an artist does not get all the recognition that she or he deserves, his self-confidence might be undermined. So sometimes, you quit being productive as an artist, right? So he wrote these this poem, which is part of a song of innocence, which is called The Tiger, right? I don't know if we can listen to this. Yes, I think we can listen to this. but I think I have to start sharing again. This time, sorry. I need to start sharing again, this time including the sound. Okay, the tiger. Are you seeing the website that says Poetry Foundation and the tiger?
The tiger.
Yes, can you listen to the, yes?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
By William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when my heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry?
Okay, this is a great poem. Great poem by William Blake. Tiger, tiger, burning bright. It's very strong. Repeating the first. Do you know how to call when you? How is it called when you repeat the first consonant sound in words? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? It's interesting to hear a word ending in the same rhyme scheme, right? But we have a bright night, I, bright night, I, and then symmetry, right? So A, A, B, C. In the second stanza, we have skies, eyes, aspire, fire. So you see we got A, A, B, B, right? Or in the case of A, B, C, D, D, E, E, right? That could be more proper. What's the poem about? What do you think? What's the poem about? I love this feature that you can listen
The tiger.
that you can listen to the poem. It's a very, very nice feature.
By William Blake.
So, what do you think the poem is about? Any ideas? Are you very shy today? I think. Is it shy? Is it out of shyness, or is it because you're not sure, or you don't want to,
Well, the truth is that I tried to pay a lot of attention, but I couldn't understand quite well what the poem is about. I just understood like a few words, but I cannot give you like a great answer
That's
and
right.
explain what it's about. I think I would have to read it a few more times.
That's right. That's right. That's a very honest and appreciate honest answers, right? Particularly, like I need more time to digest this, right? And
Yes.
well, yes. So the poet is addressing a fearful and powerful animal, right? A tiger. So he's talking to the tiger, saying, "Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night." what immortal hand or eye could frame that fearful symmetry? Which immortal hand or eye could do this, could or make this? Who created you? You, fearful animal, right? What immortal hand? Immortal. Who's your creator? Right? Immortal creator, God. In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of the eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? So the eyes of the tiger seem to have a fire in them, and then the creator dared to seize this fire before to put it into the tiger's eyes. So who was the creator that dared to hold in his or her bare hands, right, the fire that now is part of the tiger's eyes, the fire, because it's a very fearful, scary creature, right? According to this poet, with fire in its eyes. On what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews? When the heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? So essentially, the poet is always going in cycles, referring to the possible creator of this wonderful, amazing, and yet fearful and scary beasts, right? I insist on scary and powerful and dreadful because at some point the author refers to another animal. Now, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was that brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp, there its deadly terrors clasp. There's a reference here to blacksmith. If you remember, blacksmith were these guys that had hammer and were blowing and hitting metal to create metal objects like swords or any kind of agricultural tools or tools that could be used for, plowing the earth. So they would hit this. Let me see if I can hear. Sorry, if I can get a picture. Black Smith. An image is worth 1,000. So there's blacksmith, right? So if you look at the fifth image or the fourth image, you see the hammer right there, right? The anvil. So the blacksmith puts the whatever metal object he wants to shape or forge, right, on top of the anvil, and then he hits the object with this hammer, and gives this object a shape, right, at will, right. If the blacksmith wants to create a sword, it's going to be different if he is creating an axe or whatever object, a spoon, right, anything like that. So and the furnace, right, is the place that you see here in the second picture right there. That's a furnace. It's a place, right, with a fire on which the metal is heated in order to continue with shaping the object, right? So if the animal was created, where or who was the creator? Who was the author? Who was this blacksmith that dare to give this powerful animal its fire eyes and its fearful nature? Is it the same? And here I'm going to skip this. Did he smile his work to see? Was he happy when he created you? You, tiger? Was your creator happy? Was he proud of creating you? You, fearful and powerful animal? Was the one who created you the same who created the lamb? You see, a tiger, a powerful, carnivore, dangerous animal, and the lamb, right? A peaceful, very quiet, who would make no harm to anyone, animal, right? So was the same creator the one that created the lamb? And also, I don't know what kind of associations you can make with the animal, the lamb. Do you think you can make any associations with the lamb? That's a lamb, right? Not, hopefully not these images, right? But oh, okay, these ones. Oh, maybe this one. Any associations that you can make with the animal, the lamb?
Between the lamb and the tiger, or between the lamb and God's creation?
Between the lamb and anything you know, any previous knowledge. Who do you associate the lamb with?
Well, we have, uh, I can recall that we have several mentionings of the lamb in some literary works, like the Bible, for example, where the Lamb of God is mentioned to be each and every one of the sons of God and his creations. As well, there's another stories for children. This example of, I don't remember if it was Pedrito, the child who yelled about the wolf, and he was the shepherd who was taking care of the lambs, and he lied a couple of times. So the people, those people were as well lambs who were driven by the screams of the children protecting the animals. And when he 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 lied so many, well, he lied so many times, acting as a wolf, as something bad, that the lambs didn't trust him to take care of the lambs. So it's an interesting relation and dynamic that it gets, this idea of the lamb, at least from that story, from that tale, that the lambs together have some kind of strengths, but alone, or the animal itself, unaware of his condition and his numbers, it's it's of the mercy of the wolf and of the shepherd at the same time.
That's right. That's right. They're very, very interesting associations that you're making, Javier. Particularly the first one, because the lamb is known to be connected with Jesus, right? The lamb that sacrificed, that was sacrificed, and then we see this connection. If the Creator who made the lamb was the same that make you tiger, and so the idea is, I guess, because that's my own interpretation, and this is what you need to achieve on your own, right? Um, is the same force, the same God, the same creator that created the tiger, the one who created the lamb, considering that the lamb and the tiger have so many different characteristics, which we could mention as being almost as opposite beings, right? Opposite creatures. So is it the same that created what was supposed to be good and positive, and another animal who's supposed to be dangerous and very fearful, right? Because if you had a choice and you were told, okay, I have, I can give you two rooms. In one room, you can sleep there and you will sleep next to a lamb. In the other room, you can sleep there, but you can sleep next to a tiger. Which room would you choose? So you see, there are different connotations for these two animals. And is this the same God, the one who created good, the one who created evil? Is it the same creator for all the good things we have in life? The one who is responsible for all the bad things that happen to us? I mean, we can go and explore the poem and its significance or its meanings, but essentially that's a question that is being asked by William Blake. If the tiger was created, right, and the creator was the same that created the lamb, how can we explain that there's good and bad on earth? And then, of course, you can have your own interpretations about the existence of good and evil, right? But from this poem, and particularly from this line, or these two lines, was your creator happy because he made you? Was it the same who created the lamb? So that's those are questions that are being pondered by this specific author. I don't know if you liked the poem, if you think it's too shallow, if you think it's interesting to ponder about these. But that's the idea, right? The idea is that there was a lot of exploration made by romantic poets because they felt that it was their own right to explore in literature, to explore in life. So many were heavily influenced by the French Revolution, as I mentioned before, and then others, the sort of the second wave of poets, of romantic poets, were influenced by the American Revolution, right, or the American independence. Revolutions are powerful engines for different peoples, and there's a very important charge of because in order to break the cycle, in order to break what's established, break the status quo, and move into a different direction, there's a lot of energy that needs to be applied in order to break away from what's already established, right? So for this, you need to be rebellious. There's a lot of effort implied. So all of this effort was poured onto this literary works. So sometimes when you read romantic poetry, when you read romantic works, you see a lot of energy put into them, right? A lot of emotions, and that's very important to remember because emotions in general are part of the of literature, right? That's so I'm going to upload this PowerPoint. That was the contents are taken from poetryfoundation.org. I was reading this and I think there are many interesting elements. They can be used in order to study. So I'm going to upload this. There's a lot of information, particularly in this first slide. I want you to consider that Romanticism was not a single unified movement, right? And they want you to remember the connections between the ideas that moved the Romantics, right? That were connected with the revolutions in the United States and France, right? And also the negative consequences of the Industrial Revolution. Because what was going on in cities during the Industrial Revolution is that the quality of life was very low. There was a lot of pollution. People had to work. Remember that the law didn't exist about people having to work only for 8 hours or 10 hours, right? So many people would work 12, 14 hours a day. Children were working as well because there was no law against that. And many children became apprentices in different jobs, particularly the ones who were orphans, right? Because it was believed that the only opportunity in life that they were given was to know a job, right? To be taught a job, and through becoming an apprentice, right, of someone. So that's something that I wanted to consider. From the following PowerPoint slide, I want you to consider that Romantic poets were very, very eager to explore, right? Because they felt this, as you can read in the first line, this revolutionary spirit, okay? And also that the Romantics would connect with the common people. These poets would not would not relate themselves with the monarchy, would not relate themselves with aristocracy, right? With high-end people, but with everyday life and everyday language, because the idea was to connect with the regular common people than with the monarchs, as it was the custom before, right? Before, the poets would connect with kings and queens. If you remember Shakespeare's time, they would be even sponsored by the monarchy, not romantic poets, right? Because they wanted to connect with, as you can read here in one of the lines, rural workers, children, the poor, the elderly, disabled, right? Um, because that was the main concern. In the following slide, I want you to consider that Romantic poets broke from the past, broke from tradition. They did not want to continue with the same traditional ideas, but they wanted to break away from this cycle, right? And also that they would explore with the concept of sublime at the bottom line here, with the sublime. This And there's a very interesting distinction here, right? Which is beautiful suggests smallness. I'm reading almost the last lines, right? Beautiful suggests smallness, clarity, and painless pleasure. And the sublime suggests boundlessness, obscurity, and imagination stretching grandeur. So if you have climbed a mountain and you have seen from the top of the mountains all the vast landscape, that's the feeling that you are in this. You have this sublime. You have experienced the sublime. If you have ever been in a boat in the middle of the ocean, no land, you look forward, backward, to the left, to the right, and you only see water, you only see the ocean, and you feel very, very small, very, very small, and you feel that the ocean is so big. That is the concept of sublime, okay? If you have looked at the stars, you see all this starry night, and you feel very small, and you think, oh, there must be life out there, and you're feeling this feeling of sublime. Okay, that was a feeling being explored by romantic poets. Um, and the last thing is that I want you to consider is that the legacy basically has to be with this concept of the lyric I, or the poet as being a small god, a small creator, because this poet who dared to explore unexplored areas, right, would use his emotions and heart, right, to to find new ideas, to find new elements out there. So this sort of exploration was so the poet give himself or herself poetic license to explore and to create new things, right? And this idea that we might consider very, very common these days, that we may consider nowadays, that it's not really something new. It's not even like something I should consider, right? As but before, all the poets, writers would conform the canon, would try to write following a structure that was given before by the ones that were preceding him or her, right? So this idea of daring to do something different was part of this romantic movement. It wasn't something that you would find previously in general as a movement. I'm sure there would have been some individual attempts to explore, but I would say that in general, as a movement, we can see this mainly in Romanticism. Do you have any comments or questions before we finish this session? Any comment, anything that was not clear? I feel like I've been talking a lot and too much.
I have a question, but it's not related with the topics that we are talking today. That we were talking today.
Sure.
So maybe if someone could give her comments or something, I can wait, or I should go with the question. Well, should I go with the question?
Is there any comment or questions that you might have about Romanticism? If not, we go with Bisania's question.
No, Professor.
All right. Javier, Camila, Jocelyn?
No question, Professor.
No.
All right, Bisania. Because
Okay.
yeah. Go on.
Well, my question has to do with the following book reports, because with my partner we have to give the book report about I don't remember if the picture of the image of Dorian Gray, but I remember it's Dorian Gray's history. But I want to know, when do we have to give this presentation, and if we can do if we can make a video instead of a presentation.
I would say, sorry, I just realized that the battery of my laptop is almost 6%, 5%. So I'm going to go ahead and try to connect with my cell phone just so just in case I'm not present, I'm coming back, okay?
Okay.
All right, so on Friday, as far as I know, Maria Ignacia and I believe Jocelyn and Camila, are you working together for the Friday session?
Yes, Professor.
Oh, okay. So Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia, they are giving a presentation on one romantic literary work. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be Friday session. Next week, we should start immediately with, because as a matter of time, right? We need to start right away with the next literary. We should start talking about the Victorian age, basically, in short. So next week, I think we should start immediately with book reports that are referred to Victorian literary works. So yours is one of them, right? So we're not going to follow. Well, the idea would have been to follow a specific order. That, for example, early Victorian age, and late Victorian age, and we should follow the same order for the book reports. But if you feel that you can make it on Tuesday, you can go ahead. I don't recall having given or having discussed a specific order for presentations that are going to take place for the Victorian period. I don't recall that. Do you?
No, me neither.
Okay.
There
Alrighty.
is.
So yes.
No, I don't know. There is a order that we have to follow. Maybe on the schedule. I mean, on the document that you wrote, the names. There is an order that we should follow, but I don't know.
Maybe, and I'm going to take a look at that. I could post a suggested or way to organize the presentations, and then I guess we should get a confirmation from the rest of your classmates. What I'm going to consider is what I said. First, the books that were written in a period that we could consider early Victorian age. And the division has to do with the focus of the works. Some works that were Victorian literary works focus on social issues, on social elements like social injustice, the power distribution. So whenever we talk about, for example, Charles Dickens, it's a socially oriented literature. But when we talk about, for instance, late Victorian period, is the works are more connected with an aesthetic point of view, writing because of the sake of writing, exploring literature because of the sake of it, not denouncing. The idea was not denouncing social injustice and the late Victorian period. It was more like exploring language itself. So it's a different objective. So I'm going to order the presentations or book reports considering that information. And then you let me know if you agree or disagree with the order. Okay. Now, Bisani, a question for you. How do you feel about giving your presentation on Tuesday? You're going to be ready? Do you think you're going to be ready for that?
Maybe I don't know. I think because I have been reading, but not that much, and we have to prepare the presentation, like the PPT presentation. But yeah, I mean, that was my other question. If we have to give a presentation, or can we prepare a video like our classmates did last time?
You can prepare a video. Now, the video should include, as usual, right, the main elements of a literary analysis. And after the video, you should be available in order to provide more feedback, answer questions. After the presentation, yeah,
I
you have to.
understand. Okay. But yeah, I think we can do it on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't think that we will have a problem. I will have to talk with Catherine because she's not here, and I am offering our presentation, but I don't think that she would have any problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's I understand that sometimes you cannot make a decision if everyone involved is not in the same place, in the same room. Yeah, I totally understand. And then also have some issues about that. I'm looking at the percentages for the Victorian period. We have Pride and Prejudice, The Picture of Dorian Gray, you and Catherine. Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia, and Frankenstein, Daniel and Javier. So Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia are going to start with their presentation this Friday, as far as I know. And so I would say that we are going to start immediately on Friday with the Victorian period. If we want to, place or position ourselves, okay, are we talking about Victorian period, or are we still in the Romanticism? On Friday, we're going to start with Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia and their book report on Strange Case. So they are going to be the first Victorian literary work. Okay, And we've got Frankenstein, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and Pride and Prejudice. So you don't have any specific preference. I'm going to, and we don't have. Do we have any of the students involved here? We have Javier, Carla. I think you already gave your book reports. Yes, no. Carla, I have Othello here. Yeah,
Professor, I sent you an email, but I think that we choose the same book report than Jocelyn. So we are going to change it. We are going to talk with. I'm going to talk with my group.
Okay, good. So your group, Carla, is composed by
Fernanda and Urdanibia and Consuelo Fernandez.
Okay. All right, thanks so much. So whenever you have your option, let me know. So far, we're going to play with Pride and Prejudice, The Picture of Dorian Gray, or Frankenstein for next Tuesday. Javier, how do you feel if your book report is scheduled this Tuesday? How do you feel? I mean, are you prepared?
Mister, I will have to comment this with Daniel because we like found a book and we were reading it on our own, but we haven't talked about it, about the book report. We thought the date was going to be a little further because of what we saw on the syllabus, like the place of Frankenstein book and the literary period that it's part of. So I will need to like talk with Danielle, to be honest. I think that we might not be able to present on this Tuesday.
Okay, I'm back this time with myself, and so let me post a message in the LMS for the dates, and let me ask the group with Pride and Prejudice. As far as I remember, because I don't have the laptop on, Cristobal, Mariana, and Grace. So maybe they are ready for Tuesday, but I guess we can have two book reports on Tuesday. One of them could be theirs, Pride and Prejudice, and the other one might be Bisania's, as long as she gets the confirmation from her classmate, her partner, right?
Yes, I already talked to her and she said that there is no problem. So we will do it on Tuesday.
Great. That's wonderful news. So I'll just confirm with the group giving the book report on Pride and Prejudice. So then we could have the Friday session with Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia. On Tuesday, we have two book reports. And the coming Friday...
Rebrotó desde el medio de la hoja muerta.
Okay, and the coming Friday, it could be Javier or Carla's group, depending on how Carla feels the group is, in terms of preparation. Okay, so Friday, I have a feeling that it could be Javier and Daniel with Frankenstein. I don't know, I have a feeling. So Carla, you can have more time. I read your mail, but I didn't remember if the word was taken. Sorry for not getting back to you before. Okay, but then this Friday, Jocelyn, Camila, and Maria Ignacia, Tuesday, Visania and Catherine, and Pride and Prejudice with Grace, Cristobal, and Mariana. Need to double check that. And on Friday, there's a high probability that Javier and Daniel, you will go with Frankenstein. And the following Tuesday, probably, we're having Carla and her group. Okay?
Thank you, Professor.
Alrighty. So I'll see you on Friday. Enjoy the rest of the day. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, Professor.
Goodbye. See you.